Senate today has issued a strong warning over xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa. Worries about a possible strain on Nigeria-South Africa relations. Chief of Staff to the President, Honorable Benue, has issued a cease and desist order and setting a 10 billion naira defamation suit against Mr. Adeniyi, the man alleged to be behind the fake federal agency. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Akimale, live for you here in our Abuja studio. Let's get started, everyone. So much for us, the grounds for us to cover tonight. But the issue between Mr. Benue and Mr. Adeyemi has gotten to another dimension, and I'll be bringing you some details over that matter tonight. Also, the National Assembly lawmakers and some governors in the APC are not happy with what the situation in South Africa has done, and is getting a lot of attention. I'm bringing you also details of that. But before we get into all of that tonight, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
Some members of the Kwara State All Progressives Congress, including the governorship aspirants, have staged a peaceful rally in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to register their grievances about the outcome of the party's primaries in the state. Some of the governorship aspirants, including some federal lawmakers, are alleging imposition of candidates during the exercise. Their concern is that the outcome of the primary can affect the party's performance in the 2027 general elections in the state.
We are not very happy with the kind of leadership that has bedeviled us in the state for some time in terms of the party structure. And we are protesting with this march so as to register our rejection.
The controversy surrounding the All Progressives Congress House of Representatives primary election for Pankshin, Kanke, and Kanam federal constituency in Plateau State has taken a new turn as supporters of one of the aspirants staged a protest in Jos demanding a review of the exercise that produced Mr. Yusuf Gagdi as the party's candidate. Supporters of the House of Representatives aspirant, Mr. John Gozak, converged on the Plateau State Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress in Jos to protest what they described as irregularities that marred the party's primaries for the constituency. Bearing placards with several inscriptions, the protesters called on the party leadership to uphold transparency and fairness in its electoral processes. In Kogi State, some members of the All Progressives Congress across wards and local government areas have petitioned the party's national chairman, rejecting what they described as the alleged illegal substitution of the winner of the party's senatorial primary, Honorable Samuel Aro, with Senator Sunday Karimi. In the petition addressed to the APC National Secretariat in Abuja, the party officials urged the National Working Committee to reverse the alleged substitution, insisting that Aro remained the legitimate winner of the Kogi West APC Senate primary election. The petition also dismissed reports suggesting Mr. Aro voluntarily withdrew from the race, insisting that he did not complete or submit any withdrawal form as required by law.
There you have it, your political roundup stories. Let's tell you that the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Benue, has threatened a 10 billion naira defamation suit against Mr. Adeniyi, the man now behind the disputed Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, the PFIPC, over allegations of murder and bribery. In a letter signed by Kemi Penhiro, Mr. Benue lawyer, the Chief of Staff gave Adeyemi 72 hours to take down all videos and comments in which he made several allegations against the President's Chief of Staff. He asked Adeyemi to publish an apology and full retraction in at least 5 national newspapers and on social media, where his press conference on the June 26th was circulated. Let's tell you that the xenophobic attacks in South Africa on many nationals, especially concerns Nigerians, as the Nigerian National Assembly today has made a very bold and decisive move about it. They've mandated the Committee on Foreign Affairs to investigate the renewed wave of xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa and report back within 2 weeks to guide the federal government on appropriate diplomatic and policy responses. Let me allow you to perhaps have a sense of what the National Assembly lawmakers said earlier today.
I rise to move the following comments by a South African minister to the effect that compensation will not be paid to those Nigerians whose properties were looted, shop burnt, and even life taken, but the government of Nigeria reciprocate by appropriating the profit accruing from South Africa shares in all South African companies in Nigeria, including their banks, APC, that the money be seized and used to pay Nigerians. Take into account that this decision to give Nigerians June 30th as deadline was taken by a mob and respected by the government of South Africa. So we can't allow our people to come, we take taxpayers' money to pay compensation when South Africa investment and profit is being taken away. I urge that the profit be appropriated and use it to settle those who have been brutally destroyed, business burnt, life lost.
Senator Abdullahi told us that we should allow our Committee on Foreign Affairs to investigate. Nigeria is the giant of Africa. We lead in Africa. We lead, whether anybody likes it or not. We set the pace. So being the leading country in Africa, we need to lead by example. I think we need to allow that committee to investigate, look at the entire scenario, the conspiracy angle to what is happening, and once we've gotten the necessary information, well-informed facts, then we can take action in line with what you said. So I think I'll urge you to step down this prayer until we're able to do that.
All right, that is a portion of the debate on the floor today. But we understand now that some governors serving their first term under the APC have condemned the reported attacks, killings, and hostility against Nigerians and other African nationals in South Africa, calling on the South African authorities to ensure the protection of foreign residents and bring perpetrators to justice.
We are persuaded that the reforms being undertaken by our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, are necessary to stabilize the economy, restore public finance, attract investment, strengthen national productivity, expand infrastructure, deepen food security, and secure more sustainable future for Nigerian people. Our support to President Tinubu is not based on politics alone. It is based on the conviction that Nigeria requires courageous leadership. We also express concern over report attack, killing, and hostility directed at Nigerians and other African nationals in South.
Let's take this conversation forward. Those who have been speaking on the floor of the National Assembly, agitating for the interests of the Nigerian people, especially those who are directly affected in South Africa, is Senator Victor Ume, who is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, distinguished, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you so much indeed. About 3 batches of Nigerians have now landed in Nigeria, and it's heart-wrenching. The kind of hostility, and those, in fact, what I've heard, Senator, now, is that a group of Nigerians, young Nigerians, are now giving South Africans deadline to leave this country. The kind of response that you will get when there is a negative action and the kind of reaction that is coming. And I'm not sure how this will pan out eventually.
Well, this situation will call for sometimes extreme reaction, because this matter had come up in the Senate about 6 weeks ago. And I remember that in my contribution to the xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa, I was very vehement and visibly angry with the way South Africa has treated Nigeria and Nigerians living in their place. I had to recall that for Nigeria, South Africa would have been an apartheid country where the blacks would not have any right to leadership, no right to even access to things provided by government. They were in that dark situation when Nigeria took it up and fought for the emancipation of black Africans, took it to the global stage, and fought the battle with the resources of the country to end apartheid regime in South Africa. I said that this was a very bad way of rewarding brotherhood. Nigeria took the injustices the South African blacks were subjected to by the apartheid regime to the highest level. Even our musicians sang it on a daily basis, mounted global campaign to end apartheid in South Africa. Nigeria had to boycott even the Olympics because of the apartheid regime in South Africa. So looking at the enormous contributions Nigeria made to see black rule, South African black rule, that started with Nelson Mandela, who was brought out from prison after 26 years. I had thought that South Africa will always take Nigeria as big brothers, people who ran to their rescue when they were being emasculated. But the reverse has been the case. They challenge Nigeria in everything, even in sports. They are so angry to meet Nigerians, even in football. You can see their hate for a country that laid the foundation to their freedom. I was very angry in that discussion in the Senate, and my colleagues were asking me to tone down. I said no, because I never imagined that this thing will ever be so. And it is because of the way we have taken it that they launched this round of attacks again, gave Nigerians deadline to leave by 30th of June. And they have given effect to that their threat. Many Nigerians were killed. In fact, one person was killed a day to departure, and businesses were destroyed. All our contributions at the debate in the Senate about 6 weeks ago fell on deaf ears because they saw all these things. They were threats even. Myself, I called for reprisal actions, because I couldn't see how they would be treating Nigeria this way.
Although it's not only Nigerians, there are Africans, Uganda.
Ghana has just shown the Ramaphosa who wants to come on a state visit to Ghana. He told him not to touch his feet on Ghanaian soil.
You think that we need to make the president of this country need a strong response? Because there are those who will say, we haven't really heard President Bola Tinubu speak about it. We've had ministers, aides to the president speak about, but our own president seems not to have said anything majorly other than statement from the presidency. If you were to ask or demand a response, what would exactly do you think the president should be saying or doing?
Our president should immediately put South Africa on the spot, diplomatically. We cannot be dealing with a country who shows this level of hate to our country, killing our citizens like rats. I was in South Africa in 2024. Then I was the chairman of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations. And when I got there, I held an interactive session with Nigerians living in South Africa, particularly in Joburg. And their stories were heart-wrenching. You cannot imagine that Nigerians were living in South Africa like slaves. You have no liberty given to you. A case of one young man from Yoruba land, southwest Nigeria, who was running a restaurant in South Africa. They went to his restaurant, arrested him, took him away, and put him in detention and never allowed him access to a lawyer to defend him. He will come to court, no lawyer for him, and eventually they threw him in prison. So this is not the type of thing you can be wanting to see. In a South Africa, the white man developed to the level it has become. You know, their barbarism is of the highest degree. And why are they angry with Nigerians? That's what you should that should worry anybody.
But again, Senator,
if there's any country South Africa will be up in arms against, it's not Nigeria. Or disrespect. Here, the DSTV is here reckoning money. MTN is here reckoning money. Standard IBTC Chartered Bank is here reckoning money. And Nigerians are treating them with all good manners. You know, they increase their subscriptions, we pay. They are making money and taking money out of this country. What are we taking out from South Africa? What are we taking out from South Africa?
There are those who would think maybe Nigeria's diplomatic response to these attacks is more reactive than proactive or active in that sense. Has Nigeria's foreign policy failed Nigerians, considering the kind of aggression Nigerians are facing? Because, and I will take an example of the American USA as a nation. They defend their own people, and any interest of America wherever in the world, they will fight for it.
You're talking about America. Take Israel, that is a smaller country than America. If you kill an Israeli anywhere, you must pay for it. They will come after you with all their might. This is the way to earn respect for the country. Look at Israel in the Middle East. You see how they've been slugging it out with their neighbors. And they are certain that nobody can treat an Israeli with that type of disrespect within their own region.
Is there anything that you think is restraining the government of Nigeria?
No, we have not.
From asserting itself?
No, we have not done well. We have not done well in dealing with this issue. And that was what provoked me, and I started speaking the manner I spoke 6 weeks ago. Our government has been docile over the attitude of South Africa to Nigerians. What they have come out with as a response does not solve the problem. I mean, Nigerians were harassed, killed in droves, and we just sent aircraft to go and bring them back home. What have they done to express anger or outrage with what South Africa has been handing down to Nigerians here? It's enough to break diplomatic relationship with South Africa. Let them go and pack their things away from this country. Go. We have other countries to relate with. They cannot be killing us this way. And they were emboldened to do this second round when the one they did about 6 weeks ago, Nigerian government did not do anything. I asked Nigeria to invoke its powers in the African Union to even push for the suspension of South Africa as a member of African Union. Because the Charter establishing African Union guarantees Africans freedom of movement within the African continent.
Senator, don't you think even the South African government, Ramaphosa, as the leader of that country, seems to have been muted as a response of a leader to this kind of chaos on his hand? There are those who say, politically speaking, Ramaphosa, as the president of that country, is not able to even respond and take action politically because of the kind of mob action that the people have shown in this regard. And there are those who say, look, even the leadership of that country is helpless.
Cyril Ramaphosa has failed in his responsibility as president of South Africa. Xenophobic attacks in South Africa has brought South Africa to national and international opprobrium. They have lost respect everywhere. Look at the World Cup where they played, how people were, jeering at them. You cannot behave like that and be part of a global world community. You cannot do that, killing people just like that because they came to live in your country, to do business. You start killing them and ask everybody to go home. Why should they fly to America to go and play football? Is America their land? They cannot. If you want to be part of the global community, you must guarantee decency in your country and the respect to human rights.
Without conceding to some of the agitation of South Africans, we say, oh, they are taking our jobs. Oh, there is violence. They are killing our children. There are court groups. There are this and that. And there are lessons to be learned that when you are in other people's land, they kind of respect you pay. There are those who will say, even our people, we need to talk to ourselves. Do you think so?
No, one thing you should know is that in your own country, if anybody comes into your country, and we have doctors, we have all engineers, we have all classes of Nigerians living in South Africa. The story that people came in illegally and taking their jobs is fallacy. I met a lot of doctors, Nigerian doctors in South Africa, doing their work and paying their taxes. Responsible Nigerians. But when they want to go after them, they don't care who you are, whether you're an engineer or you're a medical doctor. People who are contributing positively to the life of South Africa. They don't, once you are not South African, you are an enemy. Go home. You cannot say that. Because it is not the way to build a nation. They're making South Africa to be a pariah nation. Because by the time people avoid going to South Africa, they will see the hurt they have done to themselves.
You think Nigeria can sanction South Africa?
Yes, of course we can. We can send them away from here, even their businesses. Who cares? There's nothing they're doing in Nigeria that we cannot do for ourselves. If it is a satellite that they have, we have to spend money. I remember that in 2006, DAC Communications wanted to start digital satellite transmission, the type of thing they're doing in South Africa. And some of us were moved to patriotically invest in that public offer they did. So if Nigeria takes it as a priority, they'll be able to create all those opportunities. Nigeria has also advanced in digital technology. We can bring these things about. So it's not as if they go, Nigeria will collapse. We will never collapse. And this job they're talking about, what jobs did they have when there was apartheid in South Africa? What jobs did the South Africans have? What jobs were they doing? They were doing the menial jobs. Nigeria saw it as injustice to the black race and threw its weight to liberate them. Today, they want Nigerians to go home.
South Africans are ingrates and ungrateful.
They are worse than ingrates. They shouldn't do that. And Nigerian government should give them the measure they deserve. If you allow me, like the Senate is not talking about investigating it, I'm a member of the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. So this matter has been referred to us again, and we're not going to treat it with kid gloves. We're going to look at it holistically and document the killings they have done, the human lives, Nigerian lives they have wasted, because they don't want Nigerians to be in their country.
Let me take you away from diplomatic affairs
they have to pay for all these things they have done, like Shumulo said. They have to pay for this. Yes.
And let me bring you to local politics. And things are getting heated. Just yesterday, I was getting response to what Mr. Peter Obi said about some of the alleged failures of this government in terms of the killings. And he made reference to what some of those who are in government now, perhaps talking about President Bola Tinubu, he said he had told Jonathan to step aside or resign, and he has told President Tinubu to resign. But when I asked my guest yesterday, who is Senator Ali Modu Sheriff, who is a former governor of Borno State, he went on a diatribe against Mr. Peter Obi, and you will see how incensed he was. And he said Peter Obi is not qualified to be able to tell President Tinubu to resign or step aside because of what is going on in the country. What would you say to that kind of statement or that kind of anger that he showed against Peter Obi?
Well, I would say that Peter Obi, his politics in Nigeria is common knowledge. What Peter is preaching is about change in the way we do things, how to reorientate the country and do things the proper way. cut down cost of governance, be more patriotic, be more moved to empathy towards the welfare of the Nigerian citizens. He is not preaching extremism in his political message. For Ali Modu Sharif and his diatribe yesterday, I was so pained that this country has continued to harbor people who are their problems. People like Ali Modu Sharif are the problems of this country. People who have vowed that Nigeria will not move forward. Nigeria will not have any change. And I was questioning his authority, his moral authority, to talk to P2B the way he did. Is he a good example of Nigerian leader? Somebody who threw his region into insecurity of the highest proportion through Boko Haram. It's because we don't sanction anybody. When you do things, you think Nigerians have forgotten. And that is why he could come to the studio to say such things. He spoke about Obi not condemning Biafra, war that ended 56 years ago. When that war broke out in 1967, P2B was 6 years old because he was born in 1961. When the war ended in 1970, Peter was 9 years old. So how can he be blaming him for anything that happened between 1967 and 1970? Because of that, he has lost right to aspire to be president of Nigeria. These are the people who are holding Nigeria down. I take you back to the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. That genocide in Rwanda happened between 7th April and 19th July in 1994. Within a space of about 100 days, over 800,000 people were killed, about 1 million people were eliminated from one ethnic group, the Tutsis, And today, they have forgotten about that. Rwanda has moved on. Paul Kagame has provided leadership that in Rwanda today, there's no Tutsi, there's no Hutu. If you ask anybody from Rwanda, where are you from? You say, I'm a Rwandan. That is the way to build nations, not to retain hate, not to retain acrimony over time.
How do you interpret his kind of comment and hard line against Peter Obi? Those critical comments against Peter Obi coming at this time?
It's political. It is political. Anybody who gets up will say they will not vote for Peter Obi. They are inciting their people against Peter Obi to use that and weaponize a war that ended 56 years ago, that the North should not vote for Peter Obi. Let them remain in the Stone Age. Nobody is in the Stone Age anymore. But Nigeria is moving. And if you don't do reconciliation and healing, you cannot move forward. So what he's trying to do is to whip up sentiment against Peter Obi ahead of the election. Peter Obi is one of the finest souls Nigeria has had. Somebody who is non-violent, somebody who preaches peace, somebody, even if you slap him, he will smile. And he continues with his message of change. Let this country be turned around. He has a right to say that the president has not met the expectations of the Nigerian people. He is politically allowed to say resign. Because the current president asked Jonathan to resign when he was in office.
So it is well in his right to ask the president to resign.
Anybody has if you are not satisfied with what you are getting from your leadership, you can ask for leadership change. The only leadership change we want in Nigeria is a democratic leadership change, where the Nigerian people will be allowed to vote for anybody of their choice to provide leadership to them. The issue of whether Nigeria is doing well or not, everybody is feeling the way it is. If in the election, I'm not saying that you must sack Tinubu, for example, but you should allow Nigerian people to vote. Continue being our president. We're happy with you. Things are good with us. Everything is fine. The cost of living is good. Everything is good. So if they vote for him, he will continue.
In your own estimation, how do you think this government has steered the affairs of this country?
I cannot shy away from telling you what is obvious. Petrol is today 1,200 naira a liter. Diesel is about 1,400 naira a liter. And once this thing continues this way, prices of goods and services will continue to skyrocket. We are not doing anything to increase production in this country. Look at the kind of things we have seen. You just said about the fake agency, a federal, what is it called? Federal
Presidential Promotion Council.
Investment Council.
Yeah.
Promotion. And the agency is not known to the government of Nigeria. And that agency is operating at the Federal Secretariat of the government of Nigeria.
With 3 CBN accounts.
With 3 CBN accounts.
With communication from the office of the SGF, based on the document we were saying.
Look at it. Is it not a wonder? And what people are not asking about is it only this fake agency that is in existence? Nigeria is a country where a lot of people have put tubes, sucking money away from. That's why
so you imagine if that, there could be.
There could be many others.
One will wonder that you and your colleagues should then now start an investigation. If you have identified a hole, I mean, a lot of the times, and I don't know if this comes to your mind too, once you see a rat in a house, know that there's a possibility that there are a lot more that you have not seen.
One rat cannot live in a house.
In a house.
There are many.
If there is one fake federal agency audacious enough, according to the government, they say it's fake. If that fake agency is audacious enough to have his office in the Federal Secretariat, audacious enough to have 3 CBN accounts, audacious enough to have his budget,
budget line
in the national code on the budget.
The Minister of Budget and Planning, recognizing this fake agency, gave it a budget line code.
And audacious enough to have I even understand that some of them have diplomatic passports who are working in that office.
Oh, what are you saying?
And there are a long list of issues that raise a lot of questions.
Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Look at it, very lofty name. And the man is already operating, holding meetings with diplomats and all manners of people.
What do you
By the time you investigate,
you understand government.
By the time you investigate,
yes. Yeah. What do you think let's assume, and there are two angles here. Let's assume that this was not ab initio, not fake. Because it's possible the government says it is fake afterwards. But maybe it started as not a fake agency, but it has now been disowned. Because the federal government needs to come forward and give Nigerians a full disclosure, a full account beyond what we are going to be hearing in court. The presidency has denied to the extent of the involvement of Mr. Gbajabiamila. But as a government of Nigeria, we need to find out how this all started, how the employment letter, if it was, who is paying for almost 2 years. There are people working in the offices of these fake agencies. Who is paying them? Head of service correspondents, SGS correspondents, a lot of correspondents from Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs to this fake agency. What do you suspect could have gone wrong?
The decadence in our system is of dizzying height. That this agency could operate the manner it has operated, and nobody has any precise information as to how it started, how it became an agency of government, in quote, assigned rooms at the Federal Secretariat. The head of service of the Federation is the one who manages the properties of the government, allocating offices to agencies of government. So how could they be operating, receiving salutes from people, from workers and all that, without any legitimacy? Who made him the Director General of this agency? Because the Director General of an agency must be appointed by government and to be appointed by the President indeed. Nobody has the power to appoint anybody Director General of any agency without the presidential endorsement. So how did he come about? It's a mystery.
Senator.
So government has a lot to explain, and I'm taking it away from this agency. I'm only imagining what is happening in this country where so many of such agencies may have been in existence, and you can't trace them. You cannot trace them. All of them draw money from the till, and they do whatever they like. That is why anytime you want to sanitize operations of government, you meet stiff resistance from those who benefit from it. There are so many billionaires in Nigeria that are not doing anything, any visible business.
Part of the allegations the man is making is the fact that it was when there is a demand or request for about 20-something billion naira. That was what the thing.
What is alleged.
Those are but there's a cease and desist order, and there is a defamation lawsuit of 10 billion naira coming from Mr. Gbajabiamila's lawyers.
What I want the president to do is to investigate this matter. The president has to order transparent investigation to this matter. It's not about what anybody is saying. Slamming a lawsuit against somebody.
Does it in any way affect the reputation of this government?
Of course it does. Otherwise, why are they scampering? Why are you slamming a lawsuit of 10 billion naira against somebody who said he had any relationship with you? What you have to do is to prove to the satisfaction of Nigerians that you knew nothing about this agency. And he has made damning allegations that he was asked to pay 24 billion. So if somebody is asked to pay 24 billion, it must be out of hundreds of billions that is lying somewhere. It must not be pay me 24 billion if you don't have 30 billion. So we have to our president must be on top of this, investigate it thoroughly, and find out what has happened. It will not be swept under the carpet.
So, Senator, finally, this is how I'd like us to close our conversation with you tonight.
Yeah.
And it's going to be about what has become an intense political contest that we have seen within the political atmosphere in the last few days. And it's about your very good friend, Mr. Peter Obi, who secured millions of votes in 2023 and significantly altered Nigeria's political landscape. There are a lot of people who thought that he's insignificant nationally, politically speaking. But looking ahead to 2027, does he still represent that big threat to the ruling party, or has the political equation fundamentally changed?
Nothing has changed, because the issues he came out to campaign against had remained the same, or even worse. It was offering Nigeria real change in the way we do things, cutting down costs of governance, and making welfare of the citizens primary in all the government policies. What we have seen ever since 2023 has been the same issues bothering Nigerians: insecurity, high cost of living. Today, can you imagine that for you to fill your tank, you'll be spending close to 200,000 naira. If you have 2 cars, you want to fill it, it will be about 500,000. So it is not stopping. And there's no hope that this thing will drop. Many workers don't go to work with their cars anymore. So the challenge is still there, and the end is not in sight. For him, I would think that he's still very, very dreaded. Otherwise, government would have ignored him.
Can he win?
He will win. That's why they don't want it to be in the ballot. All the chase around against Peter Obi is because they know that Nigerians love him. And they're doing opinion polls. Take it from me. Government is conducting opinion polls through the people they pay. And the result they turn back to them are stunning. That instead of diminishing, the man is rising by the day. In stature and in profile. So you have to worry about such a candidate.
All right, Senator.
Yes.
Thank you so much indeed. Senator Victor Ume is a federal lawmaker representing Anambra State in the National Assembly. Many thanks indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, Shane.
I appreciate it.
Good to be here.
We take a break, everyone, but when we return, I'll take you deep into the crises within the APC in Benue State. There are those who think that Governor Alia, thank you so much everyone for staying with us. We now understand now that the presidency has now set up a working committee, a technical working committee, or a technical working group for state policing, which is going to be supervised and coordinated by the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila. This was made known today when Mr. Gbajabiamila was representing the president at an event earlier today in Abuja.
Resumed from the recess yesterday to Tuesday, 7th July 2026, and will take up consideration of the bill shortly. Now, while the Constitutional Amendment Bill establishes the framework for dual policing, it does not operationalize it. That work is left to the National Policing Bill, which is proposed to provide the national legal framework for a dual policing system in the country.
Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila earlier today. Let's turn our attention to Benue State, and it's something that has generated a lot of controversies in the past few days. Dominic Alancha is a member of Benue APC, and he appeared on this program a few days ago where he said that Governor Alia, the governor of Benue State, is not electable. And when the governor appeared at the presidential villa after visiting President Bola Tinubu, he said he's confident that he will win. But Alancha said, on the ground, the reality is that Governor Alia is not popular with the people. He's not carrying people along. He's fighting a lot of people. Let's get a right of reply. And I'm being joined by Honorable Citizen Richard Asema, who is the APC chair of the Elders Committee in Goma, local government of Benue State. Is live for us on the program. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Why do members of your party think that Governor Alia is going to be an error to be on the ballot, and your party is going to lose woefully if you field him for the election?
I want to specifically and loudly inform you that it is a fraud and wrong political narrative. Governor Hyacinth Alia is properly on the ground because of his unequaled, unparalleled and unrivaled and unprecedented slap-bang transformative commendable achievements which he has recorded in less than 3 years in the state, which no other governor after him ever did. How can you say such a governor who is performing very well is not on the ground and cannot be on the ballot? It is the activities of mischief makers who are ambivalent and opportunistic fifth columnists who do not want the development of Benue State at heart.
But let me ask you, you are of the opinion that Governor Alia is performing well.
Yes.
But maybe it's a political, it doesn't handle political side of things well. Is that the situation?
Very correct.
So he's not being able to carry the stakeholders along, because that's the problem they say they have with him. He doesn't carry people along. The members and leaders of the party, SGF has a fight with him, leaders of the party have a fight with him. Why is he not able to politically put things together? Or he just lacks the political ability?
I want to again tell you that I am a critical and an indispensable stakeholder of the APC in Benue State. And as far as recorded history has it, Governor Alia is carrying everybody along. We have been having constant APC stakeholders meeting, and nobody has ever complained that he has been left out.
Could that be very correct, Asema? For a long time, for almost 3 years, himself and the SGF are being at loggerheads. Could your assertion be correct, though, if perhaps the leading light of your party from Benue State at the national level, which is the SGF, and the governor of the state are at loggerheads for almost 3 years? Does that mean that the governor is doing the right thing?
I want to assure you that it is an artificial crisis. You know the problem with the governor and the SGF is that since he came on board, he has been a thorn in the flesh of the cancerous politics of godfatherism, which has brought underdevelopment to Benue State. And as a priest, as an ordained priest of the Roman Catholic Church, it is his duty to make sure that he recovers the party from the private ownership of a despotic godfather and an elite cartel that had held this party hostage, has held the state hostage since the advent of democracy in 1999.
Is that the SGF you are referring to?
No, I am not referring to the FGC. I said there is a cartel,
Who are these
an
cartel?
elite cartel.
Who are these people?
Some party members who do not wish Benue State to develop. They are the ones fighting Alia. Alia has carried everybody along.
But this cartel you are talking about, they've sworn that Alia will not return.
They cannot do it because Alia is with the masses. And it is the masses that have the power to enthrone and dethrone leaders, as far as I am concerned.
Give us an understanding. You are defending Governor Alia. He has performed. He has done very well. Give me 3 major governance performance that you can lay claim to, like Governor Alia.
Wonderful. They are too numerous to enumerate.
But give me 3. That's why
For lack of time,
yes, sir.
He has rejuvenated the economy of Benue State. That before he came, the economy was dangerously cascading into the doldrums. His economic politics has brought development. He has giant infrastructural developments to his record, with flagship projects like the underpass in Boko and in Makurdi. He has turned around Makurdi town and has stabilized institutions of governance. He has also paid salaries that they were owing for more than 2 years, has paid their arrears, and he's paying pension and salary as when due. He has also employed about 9,700 teachers to beef up the staff structure in basic education. Besides that, he has improved the superstructure and the infrastructure in our educational institutions in the state. And in the health sector too, he has turned around the health sector and given it a media touch. What else do you want a governor to do in less than 3 years?
Do you think that whatever you are saying that Governor Alia has done can earn him a return or re-election? Because the people will have to make that decision. Because you've stayed a long time in politics to understand that a lot of the times you do something, but the people may not appreciate to reward you with re-election. Is Alia in that kind of conundrum where he's performing well, but the people are not seeing it?
Let me take it again.
The point I'm making is that is Alia's performance going to be enough to earn him a re-election? Can people see it? Can people feel it? Or is this a just political conversation you're having in boardrooms?
People are feeling his achievements. A lot of people at the grassroots level are feeling his achievements. In fact, those because of what Alia has done, he has earned an aura of infectious acceptability even beyond party platforms. Most of those criticizing Alia are those who came to power because of the years further to tsunami. They have now turned around to bite the finger that fed them.
But how is it that, you leaders, including Governor Alia, are now being accused of hijacking, rigging, and subverting the process of the APC primaries? Why is it that, because they are alleging that you are jittery, that's why some of you leaders who are aligned to Governor Alia, you have hijacked, you have stolen, and there are a lot of people who are aggrieved about the primary process. Why? Is it intentional to rig the primaries?
Nobody rigged the primary elections.
But why
as far as we are concerned.
Why is everyone angry in your party?
The primaries were done in line with the party constitution and standard democratic practices as is done worldwide. But it is normal in Nigeria that when people lose out, they bring a lot of concocted excuses to say that they were shortchanged in a transparent and free election. It is normal.
Elder Asema, my final question to you tonight will be, if Governor Alia fails to get a re-election, what would you blame it on?
He cannot fail. It will be an eclipse of the sun. There is no way Governor Alia can lose in 2027 because he stands tall like an eagle on an Iroko tree.
But your house is in tatters. APC is in disarray.
APC is not scattered. APC is one.
APC is one?
APC in Benue State is one. I am telling you, APC in Benue State is one.
All right. Well, our life, if you say so, but the crisis is too visible to the blind and too audible to the deaf.
This is normal in a democracy and it is normal in an election season. There must be crises, but we are going to resolve them.
Okay.
They are artificial.
Okay.
They are artificial. In every democracy, you have such crises.
Thank you, sir.
They are artificial. All that I am telling you that Governor Alia, come rain, come sunshine, at the appropriate time, he will charismatically dwarf all his contestants. It is a one-horse race. He has no contender.
Honorable Citizen Richard Asema, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight on the program. But breaking news right here, there is a response from President Bola Tinubu, who has now ordered the ICPC to investigate the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. The president issued a directive for ICPC to conduct a thorough investigation into the activities of the PFIPC and other related matters. This has been a controversy that's raged over the past few days, with the man who is said to have been the DG of the said fake agency alleging that the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, had taken money to give him that appointment. Today we saw a cease and desist order and this threat of 10 billion defamation suit against the said man. That's the breaking news. At the top of the hour, China Television will come with news track to give you more details. That's our program for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. God bless Nigeria.